Hey guys, I wanted to jump on and do a client testimonial, give a review for the Builder Wealth program. If you're in DeFi and you've been looking on DeFi, I'm sure you've run across Jake Call and his group and what he does to help us with navigating this world and making money and trying, not losing money. I wanted to let a little time go by of me working with him before I did this. Didn't want to just jump on after it only being a month or so, because this is a slow process. And it's not one of those day-to-day things that we get like in my trading group. It's daily. We're all together trading daily and talking about the stuff because it's moving fast and it's a little bit more exciting. This is a little bit longer term strategies, a little bit longer plays. They're not as exciting. They're also a lot less risky. And if you have, say you got 100 grand or more, you might want to definitely consider the thing that I do with him. He's got different levels. You can get in if you don't have 100 grand. You're starting out smaller. You don't have to jump in and do his top of the line program. You can get in and he's got free versions where you can get in, dip your toes in and get some basic education in this world, and kind of custom tailor it and can go as high as you need. From my experience, I guess I'll be speaking to the ones that are looking to really take this seriously. You got a lot of money on the line. You don't want to lose it. And you see the value in these skills. And if you can execute it properly, we can do really well. The way I got into with him, it wasn't cheap to get in his program for me. I kind of, at the time, was fed up with, I knew enough to know that I didn't know some things, some little details that would make all the difference. Before I ran into him and his team, I, was doing it on my own and doing, navigating. I learned a lot on my own and with the other communities, just being a part of it. But there was some things that I was doing that was costing me a lot of money, and I was getting frustrated, working these liquidity pools and suffering some serious and permanent loss. And, there's some little nuances and details that I ended up getting from him. And I want to say that, I got my value. It all clicked in one conversation with this guy, Cons, who basically, if you become a part of their program, you're going to be in with his team, and the guys that I'm working with are Cons and Joshua. They kind of run the, do the heavy lifting of supporting all of us and answering our questions and doing the live calls. And I'm back here. Here's the inside of their group. You got, if you're starting, before you work with them and get going, you got all kinds of courses that you can take. I went ahead and did all of these. Even though I'd known a lot of it, it's good to start, just go completely fresh and be clean and start with a good foundation. It all comes down to even, setting up your browsers. He had a good, starting at the very beginning, it setting up your browsers correctly, your wallet, taking security into account from the very beginning, just all the way, the best practices and ways that we can participate in this space without, making some very costly mistakes. And, once you learn these skills and pick them up, this is something we can do for the rest of our lives. So that's kind of how I justified it. I was like, if there's some things I can learn from these guys that I can take with myself going forward forever, It's worth the investment. With the investment, though, you get things that I didn't know I need. I kind of knew I needed, but I didn't know they really existed on this level. You get there, and another reason why I waited a while to make this review is I was waiting for this pretty big update, because Metrix Finance, this tool that they've built, is a big part of being able to be successful with DeFi. So we are relying real heavily on this software, and it's great. It shows you, I don't have, any positions open right now to show you, but I can show you my closed positions, and how it does that. He's got it all, these are all the vetted pools, vetted exchanges. We'll start in there, I'll just start going over it. You got your, he's got built-in AI that's, custom tailored for DeFi. It's a custom model from all their data over the years from people using this software to track their portfolios. They've been able to collect a lot of insight into how things are done, what the successful strategies are, and just all kinds of good stuff that you can rely on with their AI. I'm in the Discover right now, showing you how you can discover pools. They have all the exchanges already built in, Uniswap, SushiSwap, Radium. You got all these, there's some Hyperliquid. You guys know I'm into that, so I'm using their Project X feature quite a bit. But you got all the different networks that they scan. You got lending protocols built in, which is really cool, because in DeFi, lending and borrowing is a massive part of our day-to-day inner workings strategy to implement the strategies. So we're doing a lot of borrowing. I love how they have it to where you can track your track everything too. You can simulate. Oh, this is a big one. So say I pick a pool. Let's just gonna do Uniswap. Let's go Ethereum. Choose your pair. Let's see what USDC. I don't know. Let's pair USDC with wrapped ETH. It's going to you pick your tier. Let's simulate that. So here it is. It pulled up a contract. I'm simulating a pool right now. This is awesome. Because otherwise you don't really have much to go off of when you're just doing it off the exchange. Which we have all the tools that you learn how to use, but they built these. This is perfect for custom tailored for what we're doing, our strategies. I can adjust the ranges. So I can say, I can look at it all clearly. It's got it all figured out. Tells you, I'm going to say I'm going to put in $10,000. It's going to tell me how much. This is just right here is a neat feature. Like I hated trying to figure this math out on my own before I knew about this. It automatically will tell me, okay, at those ranges, you need to get this amount of USDC and this amount of ETH. You can simulate the performance. It's going to tell me, okay, here's what it looks like if you just hold it. Here's what it looks like if you LP it, though. You can go out for days. Let's say what I would do in a month. Saying, okay, $10,000, you should make $263 that month. Make you see if it's worth it. You can, it'll do probably more. I'm going to probably forget some of this stuff to show you guys. It does so much. But it's just a great tool right there. You got the lending simulations. You can simulate borrows. They just got, they're getting Hyperlend all in here. You can go track. So I'm in here. Here's how you can track your stuff. So I'm gonna go. I don't have anything open right now. I'm out of range, and I don't want to sell I'm just waiting for it to see if it goes back up. I'll start exiting some of my positions. I'll show you which ones, but this is, this is just vital to what I'm to doing this and using this software, guys. So here I can actually revisit my closed positions because I know I have a certain cost basis that I want to exit out of. For example, I know that I'm not jumping back in and starting to DCA this hype that I went out of range on. I'm gonna my personal plan I'm gonna DCA out about 10 grand worth. I want to get my loan value down a little bit. So I know I can look in here and go, okay, what it was my, instead of going blind or trying to go off of memory, I can revisit this and see, okay, when my average starting price, I went in at $67. My max shows me what my max price was. All kinds of data to use to make decisions, but it stores it all for you in one place. So I like going back here, visiting my stuff for when I want to DCA out or something like that. It's just good to have. I like how I can track my lending. It shows me how much interest I'm paying right now, what my net API is, what my health factor is. And I can keep an eye on everything all from here. I can find my pools from here. I can find my lending positions from here. So this is just a very, very awesome tool. They also have this thing called Portfolio Vision. That one's, they're revamping that just like they did that, so I won't be able to show it to you right now, but that's really cool. It helps you track your portfolio and all that stuff. Now in here, this is awesome. I paid, for their more one-on-one approach, package. It was a lot of money. I think it was worth it. And I think if you're working with 100,000 or more in crypto, you should definitely bite the bullet and invest in this. You trying to do this on your own and learn it on your own, you're going to make some mistakes that are going to be pretty costly. So it's worth, if I had it all to do over, I wish I had known about these guys in the very beginning. But I did find out about them soon enough, and I've gotten a lot of value out of them for sure. You have, in addition to all your courses that you can get, that you go in, if you're starting out completely fresh on this, by the time you're done with this, you're going to be ready to get into the game and deploy into some positions. We have a lot of just a lot of great community support. We constantly keeping up on stuff. These guys are experts. They know, there's not many options we have in DeFi right now. There's not any official schools or this isn't even mainstream. In fact, I think in crypto, only about roughly 8% of us are in this part. Everyone else is either trying to buy high, sell low, chasing meme coins, or just trying to trade on perpetual futures. This is the other side. This is for those of us who want to make good yield, want to make money in crypto, but we don't want to have the risk of full-blown liquidations with trading, and we want to play with stuff that we can believe in. We're focusing here on blue chip assets, stuff that's going to lead the way in the future, that's probably not going to go anywhere. We're making money with these coins, like working with Ethereum, Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, Solana, coins like that we're going to be using in deploying into liquidity pools, and building flywheel strategies, through lending protocols, liquid staking. I like to call it money Legos, because there's just so many ways you can put things together and different strategies and different ways to earn yield in this space on various chains and various ecosystems. And these guys are on the forefront of all of it. And I think that this is the best option we have right now. And they're leading the way with crypto education for DeFi and DeFi support. They're just eat, sleep, and breathe it. We got chats, group chats where we can all go. This guy Cons is a genius. They all are. Joshua's amazing. He does live calls with me. So does Cons. He will with you as well. We get about 12 calls. The program that I'm in is a year long. You get with that, you get a year of their elite Metrix Finance software. And I think to just buy it a la carte, I want to say that's about $800. You get 12 personal calls. They're kind of that one's more like a consulting package, where they'll just look at your personal situation, work with you, and help you build a strategy that'll work for you with your coins. What do you believe in? You might not. Everyone's got different chains they might like, and different coins that they feel conviction with. And for that, needs to be a custom tailored approach just for you. Like, for example, I have extreme conviction in Hyperliquid. They work with me in those, that ecosystem, given, and it's really nice to have them there, to kind of hold my hand and be there with me while I'm navigating through. I learn from, they're great teachers, they're great strategists, and they're brilliant at this. So it's just a really nice thing to have these guys in your court to help. In fact, I'm going to schedule a call with Joshua probably today. I'm going to get that lined up, try to get on there with him and have him go through some ideas. The market's changed, and I got some things I got to figure out. I want to figure out what to go forward, and it's just nice knowing that I got a pro that I can go and talk to. And I guess, even though I'm not, I've learned a lot from these guys, and I think I got a lot of this down. I got my own strategies and can put it all together and do some cool things myself. But it's nice having, they eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff too, and they're know more about it than I do. So that's what's great. I was able to find people that know more about it than I do, and they're here for me if I need any help. If you don't know anything about it, then that's great. If you can start out with them right out of the gate, you're not going to learn any bad habits. You're not going to make the stupid mistakes that I made with impermanent loss just by not having a full strategy or a game plan. And that's what these guys do. I remember, I started with them, I would say end of October, early November. I wasn't actually able to really start. I signed up with them, I don't know, maybe towards the end of October, but it wasn't until November where I could kind of really focus on getting in there and starting. So I've been with them since about then, and been through some stuff, that's why this is a long thing. That's why this is a year, guys, because some of these plays can go for months. Some of these situations can last a long time. And I remember my second call with Cons or whatever, when we were doing the strategy, we knew exactly where I'm at today, and the situation that I'm at today. The cool thing is me and Cons, he already had a plan. He already showed me what was going to happen. Like we went through it. We were like, okay, we're going into a bear market. This strategy is an accumulation strategy. We want to get as much Bitcoin as you can, because I believe in Bitcoin, and in Hyperliquid. So he built a plan for me, and we looked at setting the ranges, and we're like, okay, he's like, he called it, man. He's like, okay, I remember it was at 98 or 100 grand. I think it was like around 100 something $1,000 when we were talking. So this is in the beginning of, the end, and we're looking at it, and he's like, okay, well, we're going to set, so we want to accumulate, and we already knew how much I could borrow when, for safe liquidation. Say, okay, you have this much to work with. We're going to do this leg down, and I, bought the DCA down the first leg, and then I DCA down again. DCA down to where we are right now with Bitcoin. I'm like, my DCA down is about where it is now. And, my plan is set up to, we're figuring like 40 something grand, in there. And, we can, we just knew. So from 110 grand, this guy, had a plan for me. So here we are, 8 months or whatever later, and it played out, and I'm not sweating, because going into it, we knew this is how it's going to play out. So I accumulated the Bitcoin. I've been making fees, earning fees with the hype, accumulating some hype as well, and it's just been great. I before them, I was just blindly just throwing things in liquidity pools, losing precious blue chip stuff to meme coins, in liquidity pools, going out of range, and ending up losing a bunch of hype, and ending up with a bunch of meme coin. But at the time I thought, I'm making 3,000% APR. Well, I lost $7 grand worth of hype and ended up with $200 worth of a meme coin. Doing stuff like that, stupid stuff. Or pairing hype with Bitcoin, and just having hype run away and going, oh man, I wish I had the hype. Now I just have this Bitcoin, and I lost, and then rebalancing, and then having Bitcoin go the other way. It was just killing me with impermanent loss. So I saw this guy's YouTube channel, Jake Call. He's got 44,000 subscribers. He's been doing this forever, builds the software. This guy knows what he's doing, and they're hard to find. People that know what they're doing like this, that are willing to teach it, and not just do it by themselves in their privacy, and not share anything with anyone. There's not many people out there that are doing this. So he's got the software, Metrix Finance. If you just want to use his software and you already got the hang of this, can't recommend Metrix Finance enough, because it's the perfect tool for this. This is their newest version. It's got all the stuff, covers everything. I'm excited. The dashboard's it's so new. Some of this stuff is being worked on and wrapped up, but I didn't want to wait any longer. I wanted to get this review out to you guys, because it's the perfect timing to jump in. We're at great lows. Like, look at, I wish that I had my market when I got in with Jake was like this. We got, look at, Tau is under $200, guys. Solana, $75. What a great time to get into this. You could DCA in at just phenomenal prices, but we never know what the market's going to do. We don't know. So that's the point. You never know what the top is or what the bottom. So the strategies that we're using in here are the ones for me, that they got set up is for accumulating. You can do cash flow strategies. You can do stablecoin strategies, delta neutral strategies. There's all kinds of ways to do it for your needs and what your specific situation is, and they will work with you. This video is mainly for those of us that have, if you guys have 6 figures, and you want to get into this, don't go playing around not knowing what you're doing with that kind of money. Just go ahead and invest in the education and the support. You're gonna learn a lot through the support. They weren't exactly, when you sign up for them with the custom coaching, it's not like they're gonna get on and teach you. They're not teaching you. They're working with you on managing your portfolio. But there's also education that you can get online, within their courses and their resources all here. In the community, you can ask the community questions. They have a chat. They have this area called Share Learn, which is great. Keeps everybody up to date. Just going over eat, sleeping, and breathing DeFi. It's hard to find groups like this. Yeah, if you want to go find perpetual trader groups, they're great at this. I mean, there's WAPs and you name it. You can jump in with traders and get this, but it's really hard to find in DeFi, and this is the closest thing to a trading community for DeFi that I've been able to find. And so that pretty much covers my experience. I'm gonna set up a call and talk to Joshua as soon as he can get me in, and looking forward to that. It's just nice having them there to be your backup and bounce ideas off of them, or if you're going in a direction that you just, you're not sure where to go or what to do, you're at a fork in the road. It's just, can't stress enough how important it is to have the right support. Ton of resources, live recordings. We have they have community calls where you can, they have a call, like here was one we just did recently. They're recorded. You can watch them. They're just keeping up with the community and taking care of the community, and making sure that we're all supported during this, journey together. Dealing with very new technologies and new ways of doing things. And if you're watching this and thinking about getting involved, you're at the very beginning. You're gonna be this knowledge is gonna be worth a lot. It is worth a lot. Not many people have it. Not many people know how to do this. So kudos if you're looking to jump in. I encourage you to do that. Jump into this space and learn this skill and manage your crypto. Just manage it in a professional way. Learn with these skills and growing it. Accumulating crypto. You can be making crypto every day. With the skills that you'll have doing this. So feel free to message me if you are want to talk to just another person who's a client of theirs, and you got any questions, any other specific things I can help you with. Message me. I'll have a link to Metrix Finance for you in the description below. And thanks for checking this out, and thanks for checking out my friends at BuildrWealth, and I hope you just get in their community. You don't have to jump in right away and pay a bunch of money. Just get into the community for, start doing their free stuff. Get the free version of Metrix, and just check it out. All right, guys. Appreciate it, and have a good one. Stay safe.